We give praise, glory, and honor to the Most High Yah by way of Yahushua HaMashiach, our Master and Savior. When we look in the 5th chapter of John, in the 39th verse, go ahead and say that conversation for later, Stanley. Search the scriptures, for in them you think you have eternal life, and they are they which testify of me. And you will not come to me that you might have life. I receive not honor from men, but I know you, that you have not the love of Elohim in you. What makes y'all think that they wouldn't come to this man so they might have life? Because it's going by something, but I'm about finished that I said I was going to mention to y'all. What makes you think that would be in them that they wouldn't come to him that they might have life? Not just because they couldn't hear him. What makes you think that they wouldn't come to him that they might have life?
Like that.
What he told you in the 3rd chapter of John, right? They sat back and he sat back and he told you, he said, those that are evil won't come to the light because their deeds were evil, lest their deeds should be reproved. See, that's why they didn't want to come, because they didn't want to give accountability for their transgressions. You know what I'm talking about? See, they didn't want to be accountable. See, because if you come to a Mashiach, you're going to have to acknowledge something. You're going to have to acknowledge you a sinner. See, let me see. Is it Luke chapter? Let me see if it's Luke chapter 2 that I was at. It might be more. I think it's more. Let me see if it's more. Man, little Mike, man, ease up, man. Nobody want to hear all that. Let me see what I want. Luke chapter 5, that's what I wanted. 5 and 1. I just want you to hear at the words that Peter speaks. See, this is why I showed the type of heart that Peter had, because Peter showed accountability. And it came to pass that as the people pressed upon him to hear the word of Elohim, he stood by the lake of Gennesaret and saw 2 ships standing by the lake, but the fishermen were gone out of them and were washing their nets. And he entered into one of the ships, which was Simon's, and prayed him that he would thrust out a little from the land. And he sat down and taught the people out of the ship. Now when he had left speaking, he said unto Simon, launch out into the deep, and let down your nets for a draught. Simon answering said unto him, Master, we have toiled all the night, and have taken nothing. Nevertheless, at thy word, I will let down the net. And when they had this done, they enclosed a great multitude of fishes in their net brake. And they beckoned unto their partners which were in the other ship, and they should come and help them. And they came and filled both the ships, so that they began to sink. And when Simon Peter saw it, he fell down at Yahushua's feet, saying, Depart from me, for I am a sinful man, O Master. Now you seen that? Now do you not even realize that the minimal thing that Peter had to see to make him say this? What did all that Peter have to see to make him make this statement? He ain't hear no word.
He told him all the fishes.
All he just seen was he believed in this man that came to him that he might have life just on the simple fact. He say drop some net in the water and get some fish. He say we've been out here all night, ain't caught nothing. Do you know what I'm talking about? But when he seen that, you know what he did? He didn't even say nothing to him about he did this or he did that. He just gave account. I'm a sinful man. I'm a sinful man. You know what I'm saying? See, when you look at John chapter 6 and you look at the people who stopped walking with him, and Peter said, where are we going to go? You got the words of eternal life. See, them people wasn't going to come to him because they realized something. I don't want to be accountable for what I'm doing. You know what I'm saying? I don't want anybody to hold me accountable for what I'm doing. See, let's go to Isaiah 62 real fast. It's something that you done looked at before, that we done went over before. Hello? Who that is just called you? Shalom, brothers. Y'all sit back and look at it. There's a reason why you got to be willing to be accountable. 62 and 10. Uh-oh, I see you standing up there, little muffin.
What? Yeah, little.
Go through the gates, prepare you the way of the people, cast up the highway, gather out the stones, lift up a standard for the people. That means if there's a standard for the people, that means there's a mark that the people got to hit. And if the people don't hit that mark, then they're going to be held accountable for not hitting that mark. I want you to go look in Job 31 and 33. I'm going to show you about something what somebody did before we touch on what we left off at in the book of Ruth. (31 and 33). Just look at this. All we finna come to is just look at this one verse. He said, if I covered my transgressions as Adam by hiding my iniquity in my bosom. Now, we don't look at this how it pertains to the Most High, to a Mashiach, but we're not looking at that right now. We're just looking at it for exactly what it says. If I covered my transgression as Adam. If you're trying to cover your transgression, what you trying not to do? You're not trying to take accountability. Why do you think the word tells you, look at Deuteronomy 26. Why do you think the word had you do this? And you know why a lot of y'all don't want to take no accountability? Because you're too worried about what somebody going to think about you. That's what your problem is. 26 and 3. And thou shalt go unto the priest that shall be in those days, and say unto him, I profess this day unto Yahuwah thy Elohim, that I am coming to a country which Yahuwah sware unto our fathers for to give us. And the priest shall take the basket out of thy hand and set it down before the altar of Yahuwah thy Elohim. And thou shalt speak and say before Yahuwah thy Elohim, a Syrian ready to perish was my father. And he went down into Mizraim and sojourned there with a few, and became there a nation, great, mighty, and populous. Hold on, before we can go any further. He say a Syrian was my father, ready to perish. Who was this talking about? So now I'm going to ask you a question. He say a Syrian ready to perish. Went down into Mizraim, went down in the bonnet, stayed there, and when he did, he became a great and mighty people and populous. What do you think that could mean?
Foreshadowing of what was to come with the children of Israel.
You sure about that?
Huh? So who's the Syrian?
Abraham.
Huh?
You sure about that? Anybody got an idea?
It said ready to perish.
Ready to-
Right?
Ready to perish. You know what I'm saying? He was ready to perish. Let's sit back and look at something. Isaiah 50, 51, I believe. Might be 52. You hold Deuteronomy 26. You got to understand something. Hamashiach, it's Isaiah 51 and 1. Hamashiach was ready, Yahushua was ready to be held accountable for those who lack accountability. You got to understand that? Don't you know Yasharal used to walk around and be like, boy, we ain't did nothing? How many times can we, and you know, we can actually go and pinpoint in this word. And I'm going to go and pinpoint in this word, and at least 3-4 locations, if y'all permit, of men not taking accountability for what they did and blaming somebody else. I'm telling you right now, I do not respect that. You know what I'm saying? If you did something, take that lick. You know what I'm saying? Take that lick. And I'm going to sit back and tell you, y'all don't care for it either, because he went off on these people for doing that. Take your lick. I'm going to tell you something, man. Well, that's not going to fly in front of that throne, boy. I promise to you. Truth be told, you're going to be too scared to even utter the words to tell on anybody anyway. You know what I'm saying? You're just going to be sitting there, knees shaking like, knees clacking like Don Knotts. Shaking like you got Parkinson's. Like this here. I don't think y'all walk around it. Do y'all remember when we looked at about serving y'all with fear and trembling? Who remember hearing that? But yet don't none of y'all do it. I know I just told several of y'all this here in the last few days. Y'all really should start analyzing and looking at the big picture of things before y'all do stuff. Y'all be very short-sighted. Y'all don't really look at how something play out. You know what I'm saying? You just looking at this right here. You ought to do that the same way before you speak. You know what I'm saying? You should think how your words will be received, perceived. Ain't nothing wrong with measuring your words before you speak. You know what I'm saying? You don't got to be so quick to speak. Because sometimes you could be quick to speak and make a straight fool out yourself. You know what I'm saying? You know how many times y'all done read in the word about how patience is a very good thing with y'all. Yet a lot of y'all don't exercise it. You know what I'm saying? You act like your head gonna bust if you don't get what you want right then when you want it. That's obviously telling you if you're moving that fast, it can't be worth it. It can't be worth it. But if you wasn't willing to wait for something, it can't be worth it. It can't be. It's impossible. I done told y'all before, you know anything worth having, it takes some time, right? You know that this man say this race is not given to the swift, right? You know the word say you're supposed to run this race with patience, right? So that means that this is worth something, that this is worth having because it's going to take a while for you to get there. You know what I'm saying? I've been a patient individual my entire life. You know what I'm saying? Because it ain't nothing wrong with waiting on something, man. You know, you don't want to, you know, in certain situations, you'll have a sense of urgency. You know, all situations are not the same. But I know anything that's worth having, anything that's worth its weight in gold, take time. If it move too fast, something's wrong with you. Or something's wrong with what you're going after. Why you know how a lot of these people in these business schemes, they always seem to get got. You know what I'm saying? Because it seemed too fast. And it seemed, you know what I'm saying? You could get money real fast. You don't never sit back and realize if you could get money that fast, everybody be doing it. You know what I'm saying? 51:1. Hearken to me, ye that follow after righteousness, ye that seek Yahuwah, look unto the rock whence ye are hewn, and to the hole of the pit whence ye are digged. Look unto Abraham your father, and unto Sarah that bare you. For I called him alone, and blessed him, and increased him. He say he called him, he say, look to the pit which you were dig from, in the rock that you were cut out of. Which is going back to that same Syrian who was ready to perish and went down into bondage. And when he came up out of that, he was made a populous, a great and mighty nation. Now you know that a Mashiach was slain from the foundation of the world, right? So that means he would be ready to perish then. So we don't, let's just come around here and look at Hebrew chapter 2 and about verse 11. Matter of fact, I'll go ahead and deal with y'all will before we get out of here. Somebody texted and asked me a question. And just in case if they swing back around and see this here, they can get their question answered. Wouldn't that be a nice thing to do?
Very nice.
I mean, I just feel like doing it. Put it out there. I'm not going to do it right now at this exact moment. Just going to put it out there. Only reason why it came to my mind because of what verse 11 says. Say, for both he that sanctify and they who are sanctified, all are of one. For which cause he is not ashamed to call them brethren. How many of y'all feel right now that this man would be ashamed to call you his family? You know what I'm saying? How many of you really feel like this man would have no problem saying, that's my brother right there. That's my sister. You know the only reason why he would be ashamed to call you that, right? It would be your behavior. You know what I'm saying? It would be your behavior. So I'm gonna tell you something. You could be a nigga for one day, boy. That ain't just gonna be absolved with y'all like, well, shoot, he was just a nigga for a day. But you know you ain't finna be a nigga for a day. Boy, that man told you in Ezekiel chapter 20, he that commits sin shall even live. My apologies. That's Nehemiah chapter 9. Say he that commits sin, he shall live in it. You think you're gonna commit one sin and don't string some more together? You know what I'm saying? You don't think you ain't gonna do that? How many of y'all think you just gonna sin one time, you ain't gonna string nothing along with it? No, you gonna string something along with it. You gonna put a sin on top of a sin on top of a sin on top of a sin till you find yourself burning in hell. Matter of fact, since I say that, Ezekiel 33 and 10. Let's hold this Hebrew too. I didn't want y'all to know this and let this resonate in your brain. You could get Hebrews 10 and 25 to go right along with this. I didn't want this to resonate in your brain. Matter of fact, verse 7. So thou, O son of man, I set thee a watchman unto the house of Yasharal. Therefore thou shalt hear the word at my mouth and warn them from me.
Ezekiel 32.
33. That was said 32. So. When I say unto the wicked, O wicked man, thou shalt surely die. If thou do not speak to warn the wicked from his way, that wicked man shall die in his iniquity, but his blood will I require at thine hand. Nevertheless, if thou warn the wicked of his way to turn from it, and if he do not turn from his way, he shall die in his iniquity, but thou shalt deliver thy soul. You better believe I ain't going to hell for none of y'all. I'm going to tell you straight to your face, you going to hell. You want to fornicate, you're going to hell. You want to tell lies, you're going to hell. You know what I'm talking about? You want to lust and covet, you're going to hell. You know what I'm saying? Let the sword fall where it may. You know what I'm talking about? You want to scheme and connive, you're going to hell. You know what I'm talking about? There ain't no way around that. You want to be malicious, want to be spiteful, want to be evil, want to be a hypocrite, want to be phony, you're going to hell. And there ain't no way around that. And I'm not finna sit here and tell you this man gonna save you while you doing this nonsense. Because I'm going to tell you like this here in 2 Timothy 2 and 19. You don't got to go get it. That man says the foundation of the master is sure. And the master knows who is his. And let everyone that name the name of a Mashiach depart from iniquity. Don't you know when you say, oh, I'm a Yahudim, you saying that you are Yehuda. We're saying that you are the praise of Yah. We're saying you are Mashiach. Because he is the praise of Yah. So you naming yourself out to him. When you tell somebody, oh, I'm from the seed of Israel, I'm from the seed of Yasharah, you came in the name of a Mashiach. You know what I'm saying? You naming that man's name. And if you're going to name that man's name, well, you better make sure sin is not at your doorstep. See, I'm going to sit back and look at it. I'm going to sit back. Y'all do just like what he told the scribes and Pharisees in Matthew chapter 23. Matter of fact, let me finish Ezekiel 33, and we'll read what he said in Matthew 23. How about that? How that sound to you? That sound good to me too. While we still holding Hebrews chapter 2.
Listen.
Verse 10 says, therefore, thou son of man, speak unto the house of Yasharal, thus ye speak, saying, if our transgressions and our sins be upon us, and we pine away in them, how shall we then live? Say unto them, as I live, saith Yahuwah Elohim, I have no pleasure in the death of the wicked, but that the wicked turn from his way and live. Turn ye from your evil ways, for why will you die, O house of Yasharal? But yet y'all will not turn. You know what I'm saying? He told you in the book of Telahim and Psalms, he said, don't be like a mule that don't got no understanding, that he got to put bits and bridles in his mouth. Ain't that what he told you? You know what I'm talking about? But that's how y'all act. Like y'all a mule that we got to put bits and bridles in your mouth just to get you to do what you supposed to do. How can you say you an adult and say you know what you supposed to do, you've been shown what you supposed to do, and do the opposite? Sometimes I wonder, are y'all really that stupid? Or you just like to do stupid stuff? I lean towards the latter versus the former. I don't think none of y'all that stupid. I think you know full well exactly what it is you doing, and you just don't care about the consequences and repercussions before you go do it. That's just my personal opinion. Could I be wrong, Stanley? I could be. I don't believe that I am. I don't think not now one of y'all that stupid. Not one of y'all. Straight up and down. I think you know full well what you be doing. You know what I'm saying? You know how I know you know full well what you be doing? Because some of the stuff y'all be doing, that took a little thought and planning before you went and did that. You had to think about that. You was stewing on it. Sitting on the toilet, taking a dump, conjuring it up in your mind. Walking down the street, conjuring it up in your mind. Laying in the bed, conjuring it up in your mind. And you know what you conjure. You know what that word mean, though. You know what they do that at, right? That's witches, oh rebellious bastard. That's why I use that word. Okay, listen. So shoulda. Might as well be out there with them witches on Halloween. Might as well be. You can't sit back and look at them people talking about, look at these wicked pagans celebrating Halloween. Shoot, you live like them. claiming righteousness, claiming sanctification. That's ugly right there. Look what he say in verse 12. Therefore, thou son of man, say unto the children of Yasharal, the righteousness of the righteous shall not deliver him in the day of his transgression. As for the wickedness of the wicked, he shall not fall thereby in the day that he turn from his wickedness. Neither shall the righteous be able to live for his righteousness in the day that he sinned. When I shall say to the righteous that he shall surely live, if he trust in his own righteousness and commit iniquity, all his righteousness shall not be remembered. But for his iniquity that he hath committed, he shall die for it. What's the key thing you just heard the man say?
What you said?
He said you trust in your own righteousness, that you felt like you could go do that. You felt like you could go do that. So if you trusted in your own righteousness, you know what that means, right?
Look like you feel like you're strong enough to put yourself in a certain situation and you end up falling for it because you feel like you're right.
No, that just meaning I ain't committed no sin in 3 years. I think I can go sleep with this woman today. He'll forgive me for it because I got 3 years worth of righteousness under my belt. You know what I'm saying? That's what that is. Let's say you celibate, you single, you ain't slept with nobody, and you like this, and you know what? I'm gonna whip my penis out on this whole tonight. Boy, I got 3 years, boy. I got 3 years, boy. You going to hell. That's what the words say. Because you know if you trust in your own righteousness, you know what that means, right? You knew right from wrong. You knew the word then.
He said it better if you want born.
You exactly. You knew that. We gonna read that too. Hebrew 10 and 25.
Because you put yourself above the word.
You stubborn. So you're an idolater. He's saying that's his iniquity, that's lawlessness. So you only abided for a period of time. But you eventually gave in to your lust. And I'm gonna tell y'all this here too when I tell y'all this here. Cause I just was talking to Brian about this here yesterday. When I say lust, lust don't always mean sex. If sex is the first thing that come to your mind, that show me where your head is at. You know what I'm talking about? Because you know lust just means strong desire. And some of y'all can lust after a lot of different things. Some of y'all lust after cakes and cookies. Guess what? That ain't no sin, Corey, for you to lust after them cakes and cookies. It's not a sin.
I almost felt condemned. Wow.
That ain't no sin. Did he ever tell you can't like cakes and cookies?
No.
That ain't no sin, because some of y'all sit back, hey, so I got a strong desire to live waste. Ain't no sin in that. Is it a sin? You got a strong desire to deadlift, don't you? You like to deadlift, don't you? Look forward to it too, don't you? Be ready for that. Ain't no sin to have a desire to deadlift. What you say? So I felt 32. I said, oh boy, I wasn't feeling like that 3 weeks ago, boy. We were creeping about 400. Well, I went in there third. I said, oh boy, ain't no 400 coming no time soon. Woo, not today. Not today. You know what I'm saying? Guess what? It's nothing wrong. Some people have a strong desire to be successful and they feel the word. There's nothing wrong with that, as long as that don't come before the word. You know what I'm talking about? See, it's what you desiring after. Some of y'all got a strong desire to do exactly what you want to do. See, now that's a problem. Some of y'all got a strong desire to have sex and it overcomes your brain the way you can't think straight. And then you're going to hell because you're going to do something you ain't got no business. So I be telling y'all thoughts is messed up. You know what I'm saying? There's too many times we done looked at when this man say, bring your thoughts into the captivity of a Mashiach. Everything that exalts itself, bring it into the obedience and the captivity of a Mashiach. Y'all don't do that. Y'all sit there and y'all stew on it. And you think on it. And you chew on it. And when you do that, oh, you gonna go do it. You gonna go do it. You know what I'm saying? You gonna go do it. You can sit here and you can lie to me to my face if you want to. But you gonna go do it. Ain't no doubt in my mind about that. What y'all think?
How you get extra time for premeditated murder.
Yeah, absolutely. First degree. Get you the death penalty. You know what I'm saying? Because you thought about it. That's why I'm sitting and telling you. Y'all know what y'all be doing. I'm going to just go ahead and hit you like what Pac say. You can tell the people you roll with whatever you want. But you and I know what's going on. You can tell people you want to whatever you want to tell them. But you know what you're doing. Hebrew 10 and 25. And if you think, and guess what? And if you think you fooling me, well, 10 to 26. You ain't fooling me. You can sit back and think you fooling me, but you really fooling yourself, and you definitely ain't fooling y'all. I'll tell you right now, you ain't fooling nobody but yourself.
Out of yourself and out of me.
Shoot, boy, you already know you like shoot, boy. Some people ain't got no problem lying to y'all, so you know they ain't got no problem lying to you. Some of y'all sit back and like, oh, y'all, I ain't gonna do this here no more. They like, look at this nigga telling me a bold-faced lie to my face. I'm talking about that some of y'all sit there and look up. Some of you might go out the door, stand in your yard, standing like this here, spread your hands forward for Shamaheen, lift your face up there to him, and tell him a bold-faced lie straight to his face. Bold-faced. Like this here. I ain't gonna do it again, oh y'all. I ain't gonna do it again. Look at this lying nigga here. That's all this. Look at this lying nigga. Nigga gonna finna do that man about 30 minutes. He gonna go do it again. Some of you, I'm telling you, I've noticed here in the first time I said it, boy, some of y'all hear the word and get up and go sin right after that. It be in your mind while you listening to it.
That's when you got thoughts in that too.
Boy, you know how serious that is to be thinking about sin while you hear the word? How do you sit around thinking about sin while you hear the word? Well, you dangerous. You sick. Something is wrong with you. And it ain't normal. I ain't gonna say that it is normal. It is normal. I retract that statement. It is normal. Well, she done walk way over there. For if we sin willfully after we have received the knowledge of the truth, there remain no more sacrifice for sin, but a certain fearful look of judgment and fiery indignation, which shall devour the adversary. Ain't that what Ezekiel 33 just said? He that despised Moses' law died without mercy under 2 or 3 witnesses. Of how much sore punishment suppose ye shall he be thought worthy, who have trodden under the foot of the son of Elohim, and have counted the blood of the covenant wherewith he was sanctified, an unkadosh thing, and have done despite unto the spirit of grace. You got a free gift and reward for the saving of your soul, and you feel like you can just get up and do what you want to do. You know what type of dangerous game you playing. Do you really realize what type of dangerous game you are playing? That's a dangerous game you playing. Why would you play it? Why would you play it? Especially if you don't know if this man to be like, I'm done with this man. I'm done with this woman. Why would you do it? Why would you do it? Why would you sit back and say, boy, okay, I believe this man got the word. He tell me not to do something, and you go do it anyway. Like I told y'all the other day, if I tell you not to do something and you go do the opposite, I know you're not doing what y'all say do. And you can't tell me nothing different. You can't tell me nothing different. You're not going to convince me of that. I will look you in your face and call you a lie. With no hesitation. With no hesitation. Cause you know why? Cause who would you think put it in my mind to give you the counsel not to do certain things? So you understand who you actually not listening to. You know what I'm saying? Cause I ain't gotta tell you nothing. I can just let you just do what you want to do. Who cares what you do? But that means I wouldn't care about you. Then I shouldn't have no business doing what I'm doing. I don't care about you. But you know what y'all problem is? You don't care about yourself. You don't care about yourself. Because if you did, you wouldn't play with your life like that. You all right, little Mike? 2 Peter chapter 2, verse 22. 20. 19. Now this is referring to false prophets. But let's not even look at false prophets. Let's look at the people you deal with. Let's just look at that. 2 Peter 2 and 19. Oh, you all right, little muffin. He say, while they promise them liberty, make it 18. For when they speak great swelling words of vanity, they allure through the lust of the flesh, through much wantonness, those that were clean escape from them who live in error. Do y'all remember when we talked about that? That those that are clean escape from them that are in error. Y'all remember that? Well, I'm going to sit here and tell you something. That's how some of y'all done got caught up because they was alluring you through your flesh. You know what it is to allure somebody? Seduce them. Seduce them. That's when you go back and you look at the serpent with Eve, how she was beguiled because he seduced her through the lust of her flesh. That's how some of y'all got. That's how some of y'all end up around here bang-a-langing when you ain't got no business doing it. You know what I'm talking about? Around here touching and rubbing and doing all type of stuff you ain't got no business. That's how it happens. That's how it happens. And you know what the word part is? If ain't now other party said no, that means you were both with it, and you both ought to go to hell. Both ought to go to hell. There's a reason why if you ain't married, ain't no business of touching, rubbing, holding hand, close contact, kissing, staring each other in the eyes. You know what I'm talking about? Putting hands on waist, arms around each other. Cause you dumb fool, you human. You know what I'm talking about? There's a reason why you ain't got no business around nobody after a certain period of time at night. There's a reason for that. And I done said this before, and I'm gonna say it again. And I hope to y'all that I never have to say it again. For any of y'all that's single and you got kids, man, if I got to tell you ignorant niggas, do not bring no people around your children, I'm gonna get rid of you on the spot. I'm not saying that again. You're not finna be walking around here disrespecting these children, man. That says a lot about your character, and I mean that. I ain't with that. I wasn't with that before the word. I wouldn't care how comfortable you thought you were with that person. Your stinking, sorry behind ain't got no business bringing no man around your kids, period. Under no circumstance. I don't care if they doing this or not. That's not good enough. That's not good enough. Respect and value your children more than that. Same difference go for you men too. If you got kids with somebody, don't you be bringing no women around your kids, man. What's wrong with y'all? You know what I'm saying? Y'all ain't never been told you don't do stuff like that. You don't do stuff like that, man. You know what I'm talking about? If you feel that comfortable with the person, then go ahead and marry him then. And if you ain't ready to go and get ahead and get married to him, then you know you ain't got no business bringing them around your kids. I done told y'all too many times how long it was for my cousin brought her husband around her son. I ain't talking about, it was almost a good 2+ years before he even saw him in the flesh. You know what I'm saying? You see how serious that is? I ain't talking about, oh, coming to the house. He never saw him. Ain't no play date. Ain't no riding in the car with him. I ain't bringing you around my son. Nigga, I don't know you. That's how simple some of y'all is. Nigga, I don't know you. Be bringing you around my kids like that. Are you retarded? You know what I'm saying? See, I know y'all women don't look at it like this, but I'm going to tell you something. Because he got a child, and 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 I guarantee you, boy, you talk to these men and they ain't with that woman, boy, they'll tell that woman real fast, man, don't you be bringing anybody around my kids, man. Yep. Especially if I got a little girl. Don't you be bringing no random niggas around my daughters. You on drugs or what? I know them though. You know how many girls I know daughters got molested like that? Because you knew him. You knew him well, huh? While he was fondling your daughter, you idiotic fool. Then a lot of the time, they don't even want to believe their daughter because they so caught up with this nigga. And now this girl got to walk around with these scars for the rest of her life because you couldn't keep your stinking behind under control. I ain't with that. I hope that y'all never have to say that again. You know what I'm saying? If you can't get nobody to watch your child so you can go be around that man, you don't got no business going to see him then. That's bottom line. And if it's that serious to you, that means you really got a serious problem because that person mean more to you than your child do. That's a serious problem. It's not acceptable. It is not acceptable. Y'all supposed to be grown men and women. You supposed to have enough sense, standard, and conduct not to do such thing, especially if I done already said it to you. That means you can't keep yourself under control. And if you can't keep yourself under control, maybe you don't need to be dating nobody then. You know what I'm saying? You supposed to be adults by stuff. You know the difference is most of y'all are young. You know what I'm saying? It ain't really nobody other than my mama on certain things, and she can't really talk to y'all about no marriage or nothing because she ain't never been married. She can talk to y'all about child rearing and certain things of that nature, but it's not a lot of even older men either to sit back and tell y'all how y'all supposed to do things and conduct things. I can only tell you so much when it comes to certain things, but you talk to any older woman and they will tell you you don't bring no man around your kids. They will tell you this. They will tell you this. You don't bring no man around your kids, period. I don't care how much you like him. I don't care how much you say you love him. You just don't do it. And when you do it, you just disrespected your child. Especially if you bring them niggas in your house. You You know what I'm saying? Boy, I know girls who done had sex while they kids in the room, sex while they in the house. Couldn't be none of my child, cause boy, I'm gonna cut your throat when I catch you. You know what I'm saying? I'm dead serious about that. Well, without that word, man, if I'd have had a child and their mama would have did something like that, she would have had to see me. I don't care about Buddy. You know what I'm saying? I know me as a man, if I knew a woman had kids and her kid wouldn't, I wouldn't even do it. I'm talking about before the word. I wouldn't even do it. I'm not finna have sex with you and your child in the house. Truth be told, that alone, I'm done. I'm good. You stinking hoe. That's what's going through my mind. I'm good. I don't want to have sex with you. I don't want nothing to do with you. Straight up, like I'm done. I was just talking to y'all about that Friday one. Boy, I could see certain things, a woman could do certain things, something like that there, you cancel. Cause how many other dudes you done brought in here around your kids, man? You don't even really know me like that. You feel comfortable enough to do that. I'm good. Cause if I mess around and get you pregnant, you know what you gonna do? Same thing. If I ain't with you no more, can't shake it. Can't shake it. You know what I'm saying? So I tell y'all something, man, I don't overlook nothing. And I don't forget nothing. You know what I'm saying? Just like I told you earlier, if you lie to me one time, your credibility is gone. That's all it takes. You lie to me one time, I question everything come out your mouth after that. Everything. You know what I'm saying? If you want to claim to be men and women of righteousness, then carry and conduct yourself as such. Not just in word, but in deed and in truth. Because y'all do a lot of talking, but you don't do no doing, though. Ain't with that stuff right there, man. 2 Peter 2:19. 18. For when they speak great swelling words of vanity, they allure through the lust of the flesh, through much wantonness. Those that were clean escape from them who live in error. You know what he telling? I told you, boy, if you clean, you living clean. Boy, ain't no sinner finna get hold of you. And you get caught up with it, it's because you a sinner. You wasn't never clean. He said, while they promise them liberty, they themselves are the servant of corruption. For of whom a man is overcome, of the same is brought in bondage. For if after they have escaped the pollutions of the world through the knowledge of the Master and Savior Yahushua HaMashiach, and they are again entangled therein and overcome, the latter end is worse with them than the beginning. Don't you realize, boy, if you got clean and you go back, it's going to be worse for you in the end? Look what he tell you. For it had been better for them not to have known the way of righteousness than after they have known it, to turn from the Kadesh commandment delivered unto them. Boy, it's better for you not to, like I told y'all, the woman I used to deal with, man, I looked in her face one time, I asked her, I said, boy, you know what, I'm scared for you. She said, why? I said, I think this man sent me around here for you to go to hell. Because you used to always scream about, I want this knowledge. I want to know this. You done heard her say it too, then a little much. But guess what? She didn't really want it. She didn't really want it. Because as soon as she got it, she went and did the opposite. Now, how can some of y'all sit back and say y'all really want it, and when you get it, you turn around and do the opposite? Woo-woo. And y'all gonna do this for a man who was ready to perish. He was ready to die. You can get you Romans 5:5 in a moment. Let me finish this last verse. But it has happened unto them according to the true proverb, the dog is turned to his own vomit again, and the soul that was washed in her wallowing in the mire. So guess what that means? You went right back to your same junk. How many of y'all gonna be honest enough to say, you know what? I'm talking about in the last 120 days, you done went back to your same junk. At least we got 2 honest men in here. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, sit back and look at that, man. Romans 5:5. We still holding Deuteronomy 26. Hebrew chapter 2. And hope make not ashamed, because the love of Elohim is shed abroad in our hearts by the Ruach HaKodesh, which is given unto us. For when we were yet without strength, in due time, Mashiach died for the ungodly. I think that's T out there. For scarcely for a righteous man will one die, yet peradventure for a good man one would even dare to die. But Elohim commend his love towards us, and that we were yet sinners, Hamashiach died for us. Much more then, being now justified by his blood, we shall be saved from wrath through him. For if when we were enemies, we were reconciled to Elohim by the death of his son, much more being reconciled, we shall be saved by his life. Do you see the mercy and salvation he wished he had done shown? Because he was ready to perish, that he can reconcile you back to Yah for the explicit purpose that the wrath of Yah could be turned from you. And what you turn around and do, you count that as nothing. You count it as nothing. It don't even mean nothing to you, and your baby's crazy. I'm serious though, man. Really sit back and weigh out what you're doing. Sit back and think about, would a Mashiach think like this? Will he go do this? Would he even put this plan together? Did this sound like something? You supposed to have his mind. How you got his mind with the stuff that's going through your head? How you got his mind with the stuff you around here doing? You already know Lizzie crazy. Let's finish this Hebrews chapter 2. Come on, Lizzie. Somebody go on with that, get that dope for them. She might not got it on that key ring, on that act.
Hebrews
2 and 11 again. For both he that sanctified and they who are sanctified all are one. For which cause he is not ashamed to call them brethren, saying, I will declare thy name unto my brethren in the midst of the synagogue will I sing praise unto thee. And again I will put my trust in him. And again, behold, I and the children which Elohim had given me. For as much then as the children are partakers of flesh and blood. Hold on. Did you see what he just said? That he said that Mashiach did? Which is referenced in Isaiah 8 and 18. He said, I and the children of the sons which Yah has given me. And didn't it say when Abraham went into that Syrian that was ready to perish, he came out a great, mighty, and populous nation because he made a blessing with him that your seed shall be the sand of the sea where no man can number. You know what I'm saying? So these would be you and the children which Yah have given him, because he know he didn't have no kids. So what did Yah do? Gave him a son, Isaac. So all he had was one son, right? Because all the other sons don't, come on. So all the other sons don't count. So guess what Isaac ended up doing? How many sons did he have? He actually only had one, because Esau don't even count. You know what I'm saying? So we looking at Jacob. And how many sons Jacob had? He had 11. How many sons Joseph had? Which ends up making it to what? 12. You know what I'm saying? That's where the 12 come from. You know what I'm saying? And then out that 12, they came up they went Mizraim. How many they went down there in? How many of what? 70. And when they left up out of there with that 70, by the time a Pharaoh arose that knew not Joseph, it was millions of them. They couldn't even count. Couldn't even count. When they came up out of there, they say it was 600,000 men, not counting women and children. So, you know, in actuality, they might have came out there about 2 million deep. You know what I'm saying?
Give it to you.
You know what I'm saying? He say, for as much as the children are partakers of flesh and blood, he also himself likewise took part of the same. That through death he might destroy him that had power over death, that is, the devil, and deliver them who through fear of death were all their lifetime subject to bondage. For truly he took not on him the nature of Malachim, but took on him the seed of Abraham. Wherefore in all things it behooved him to be made like unto his brethren, that he might be a merciful and faithful high priest in things pertaining to Elohim, to make reconciliation for the sins of the people. So because he was ready to perish, he went down into bondage to make himself a great and populous nation. His whole objective was to go down into death and take death so we could become the sons of Yah. You think Abraham going into Egypt had anything to do with just him taking a trip to Egypt? Hold on, y'all. Call up. They ain't had nothing to do with that. That wasn't the purpose. It was pointing you to something else. Hebrews 10 and 1 real fast. And then we'll swing back around here to Deuteronomy 26. For the law, having a shadow of good things to come, and not the very image of them things, can never with those sacrifices which they offer year by year, continually make the comers thereunto perfect. Come back to Deuteronomy 26. That's what we're reading about as an offering year by year. That offering that we actually reading about is when you'll take the first fruit of the earth and bring it to Yah. Which you know, if it's the first fruit of the earth, what feast would it be? It would be Pentecost. I'll read verse 5 again. He said, Thou shalt speak and say before Yahuwah the Elohim, a Syrian ready to perish was my father. And he went down into Mizraim and sojourned there with a few, and became there a nation, great, mighty, and popular. I mean, you sit back and realize he came down here and dwelt in sin. He only dwelt with a few. We know how many was that few he dwelt with. Just showed you that yesterday. The other day. 120. Which when you look at all the people, that ain't many. You know what I'm saying? When he say dwelt with a few, you know, there's many people who believed on him at the time. But it wasn't that many who rode with him all the way out. Because a lot of people start walking with him. Y'all forbid, some of y'all I hope that there's some of y'all probably going to start walking with him after a while. You're going to endure for a little bit. When that persecution, that tribulation come from the word, you get tired of hypocriting and pretending and not being able to do the things fully that you want to do, you going to quit. I guarantee you that there's some of y'all going to quit. Could quit the next 3 months. 6 months, you'll be like, man, I'm tired of this, man. I want to do what I want to do. You know what I'm saying? Boy, there's things out here in the world I want. Man, I'm finna go ahead and do that. Because you're doing it anyway. So you just really just want to go full throttle with it. You know what I'm saying? You know, people get tired of pretending after a while. You know that, right? You know what I'm saying? I was talking to you about this yesterday. You know how much energy it takes to live a lie? It's too much work. You know what I'm saying? All that pretending and false flagging. Boy, that's too much work. I can't do that. I can't live like that. Trying to remember how I put myself out here to this person, or telling this lie. Remember the lie that I told. Now I got to clean this up and clean that up. I don't got that. That's too much work for me, man. Even when I was hustling, I'm like they said, you sell drugs. I always be like, I don't know what you're talking about. That's all I'm saying. You sell drugs. Maybe I do. Maybe I don't. I don't know what you're talking about. That's just only because you ain't finna tell on me I'm not acknowledging nothing. Nigga, you got a wire on? You work for the feds or something? You know what I'm saying? But at the same time, how many of y'all done lived a lie? You know what I'm saying? Like I'm talking about earnestly presented yourself to people or in public one way, but you were doing another, and you had to expend a lot of energy to cover up what you were actually doing. That's what I'm talking about, living a lie. Doing that right there. That's what I'm talking about. I'm like, what? Like basically like you see like people do in church. You know what I'm saying? Going, oh, she's such a good girl. He's such a good young man. Little do you know you's a pure D hellion. So when you see people who actually who deal with you in that arena, then you try to present yourself in the avenue that they see you in. You know what I'm saying? So I ain't never lived like that. What you see is what you get. You know what I'm saying? You smoke marijuana? Yes, I do. I remember I told a dude, man, I ain't finna hide smoking no marijuana. My mama know I smoke reefer. What I care if you know? You know what I'm saying? They be like, hey, you sell drugs. You know, hey, a lot of my people knew I sold dope, man, so I don't care if you know. I ain't finna come up in here and act like I'm this, that, and the third. I just don't talk about it. If you ask me about it, I'm gonna deny it. Not because I'm trying to live a lie, because, man, I could go to prison for this. I ain't finna tell them myself. I ain't gonna help send myself to prison. You sell drugs? Yes, I do, and I got some in the car with you all the time. I just had somebody walk up on me yesterday talking about, do I want to buy some lower tabs? Nigga, I don't want no lower tabs, nigga. Some tabs. You know what I'm talking about? Talking about I'm just trying to get off of them. Well, you walk to the wrong person.
You know what made him think you was gonna be the one?
I mean, you look at it.
No, nigga, you got something there. You got I'm gonna tell you something.
Some people get desperate.
Nah, some people bold. You got some drug dealers that are bold. Same way people walk up past you, man, you got some weed? You know where I get some weed from? Some people just ask, they don't care what you look like, they just asking. Some people bold. I ain't never walk up on people and be like, you wanna buy some crack? I got some crack.
It's not good marketing.
You know what I'm saying? People do that though. You know, back in our time, niggas used to run up on cars. So you can't do that no more, you going to prison. Cause vice gonna get you. That too, but you know what I'm saying? In our time, boy, we ran up on cars.
Top them off and keep them moving.
No, yeah, absolutely. Cause you knowing the smoke is coming through, so you know, niggas running up the cars. You know what I'm saying? But man, I'm gonna tell you something, man. It ain't worth living no lies. Too much work. The reason why I ain't never care about living a lie, cause I ain't never care what a nigga thought about me. You know what I'm saying? I ain't never have no image to uphold. You see boss, what you see is what you get. Yeah, I like to stay fly. If I ain't got no money, I ain't gonna be fly. This is what it is. You know what I'm saying? If you know me, you know, yeah, that boy like to stay fresh. You know what I'm saying? Like to smoke a lot of weed. That's what he like to do. He like to wear authentic jerseys all the time. Wear Wallabies and Tim's sometimes. Might wear some sneakers one day. Might have a dress shirt on one day. Could have a t-shirt on one day. Could have a jersey on the next day. But I guarantee you, he probably gonna be smoking marijuana. You know what I'm saying? Word came, people already known. Like I told you, man, my homegirl hadn't seen me in years. And we would talk, she was like, yeah, I know you doing this. I say, well, how you know that? She say, cause I know you. What I'm gonna say to that? You know what I'm saying? Cause basically my point was I say, man, all you know is what you see on the internet. I could be flogging. She say, no, I know you. You know what I'm saying? Indeed it does. You know what I'm saying? She said, no, I know you. You want people to be able to look at you and be like, ain't even no question in their mind that this is what you do. You know what I'm saying? If somebody question you about how serious you are about this, that's because they know you ain't been serious about nothing in your life ever. Cause ain't nobody never came and questioned me that who knows me about when they found out I was doing this. Ain't nobody never questioned me, was I serious? Was I playing? Could I possibly be doing stuff on the side that don't nobody know about? And I expect people to watch me because that's a given. I wouldn't even be offended by that. I mean, when I first stayed with my older sister, she was like this here. She said, I was watching you. She said, boy, if you doing something, you good. You know what I'm saying? But I expect her to do that. If you professing one thing, I would expect you, I'm going to sit back and I'm going to see. You ain't going to be mad. You think somebody be wrong for that?
No.
I don't even take no offense to that. I would actually be shocked if you did. Like you see on Scarface when he say they got guns. He say, I think something about them if they didn't have them. You know what I'm saying? I think something wrong with you. You come to something like this, you don't know me, you ain't bring your pistol. How many of y'all sometimes somebody done question you about this, what you really want to do? Anybody of y'all done had to have y'all? But good for y'all. You know what I'm saying? Because if somebody question you on it, like this really, that means you full of crap already. I mean, they don't even respect your gangster anyway. You know what I'm saying? You know you're supposed to make people respect what you do. You're supposed to make people respect your mind. The only way somebody gonna respect your mind is through your actions. You know what I'm saying? I done told y'all before, men require and demand respect. You know what I'm saying? I just had to tell her today. I just had to tell it to Mouse Saturday and shoot. Told her to T last week. Well, I will not proceed with a conversation if I feel like your vocal tone has exceeded a point that is not acceptable. You know what I'm saying? You can talk to your kids like that. I'm a man. I utterly refuse to allow you to speak to me in that fashion. I don't care how upset you is, how excited you might be, how angry you might be. Talk to your homegirls like that. You ain't gonna talk to me like that. You know what I'm saying? Lane, no, he was standing right there. He seen it. I do not discriminate when it comes to that. Guess what? If I talk to D boy get you, guess what I'm gonna tell him? Oh, you better watch your tone. This conversation will not proceed till we move further. And it ain't got nothing to do with what you saying to me. You know what I'm talking about? It's how you saying it to me. This conversation will not proceed further until your tone is at an acceptable level. And I will say that over and over again. You know what I'm talking about? I don't know who you think you're talking to. Check your tone. Like, I won't even let the conversation continue. Like, the conversation will be like you in quicksand. We just stuck still. You know what I'm talking about? Y'all brothers feel that way?
Yeah.
You feel that way? Need help. Your daddy crazy too.
I think they got crazy. You get it on that one.
Yeah, because we ain't crazy.
Yeah.
We're sensible people. You know what I'm saying? We're sensible people with a large amount of sarcasm. Large amount of sarcasm. You know, don't take the sarcasm personally. That's just how we roll. It's just how we roll. I'm for real though. My whole family like that on my mama's side. That's just how we roll. I don't know, can't speak for my daddy people. That's how we roll though. My mama was sarcastic. My granddaddy was. My grandma was. Lil Muffin is. I am. My cousin Aisha is. Probably Sean and Simone is too. My cousin Gregory is that way. We're highly intelligent people. And you know what's two things we don't like? Stupidity and lies. Don't lie to me and don't bring no stupidity to me. You bring some stupidity to us, we get highly offended. Because we feel like what made you think that I was stupid enough for you to bring this stupidity to me? You know what I'm saying? No, I'm saying my whole family like that on my mama's side. We don't bring me nothing stupid. All right now. She's sitting right there. Little Muffin, he threw you under the bus.
Just talking about you.
No. I said my family. I take offense to that, sir. I challenge you to a duel. Meet me in the back. I challenge you to a duel. Verse 6. Deuteronomy 26. And the Egyptians evil entreated us and afflicted us and laid upon us hard bondage, which we've already read in Hebrews chapter 2, that Satan afflicted us and laid upon us hard bondage because of death. And when we cried unto you, our Elohim, of our fathers, Yahuwah heard our voice and looked on our afflictions and our labor and our oppression. And Yahuwah brought us forth out of Mizraim with a mighty hand and with an outstretched arm and with great terribleness and with signs and with wonders. And he brought us into this place that he has given us, even a land that flow with milk and honey. And now behold, I brought the first fruits of the land, O Yahuwah, thou hast given me, and thou shalt set it before Yahuwah thy Elohim and worship before Yahuwah thy Elohim. Drop down here to about verse 13. Then shalt thou say before Yahuwah Elohim, I have brought away the hollow things out of my house, and also given them unto the Levite and unto the stranger, to the fathers, to the widow, according to all thy commandments which thou hast commanded me. I have not transgressed thy commandments, neither have I forgotten them. I have not eaten thereof in my mourning, neither have I taken away aught thereof of any unclean use, nor given aught thereof for the dead, but I have hearkened unto the voice of Yahuwah thy Elohim, and have done according all that thou hast commanded me. Now you notice when they sit back, remember when we dealt with this before, you know this dealt with John the Baptist, right? When he said bring forth fruits meet for repentance. Because when they coming up on first fruits to make this offering, you know, he say offer the fruits of your mouth, right? Let's look at Hosea 14 about this, because you know that's what a lot of Hebrews like to use, to say you don't need no sacrifice. But see, what we came there for is to show you the fact of what we done mentioned before in Matthew chapter 3, why these people were confessing what they had done. It was to be accountable. You know what I'm saying? See, if you can't even confess what you've done, there's no way you can be accountable for what you're doing. Therefore, there's no way you can stop doing it. Y'all agree with that? Don't you realize you can't sit back and say you can't correct a problem if you don't acknowledge that you have one? You know, an alcoholic can't stop drinking if he don't acknowledge that he's an alcoholic. 14:1 of Hosea. I don't want none. Huh?
That is very true.
Yes, indeed. If you can't correct the problem to acknowledge you have one. And if you acknowledge you got one and you still ain't changed it, then you know what that really means? You don't want to change it. That's not important to you.
I see that's a problem as well.
Huh?
I see that's a problem.
Well, no, I mean, if they confess and say, I done seen people say, I got a problem with lusting. I got a problem with smoking. I got a problem with drinking. I got a problem with lying. I got a problem with cussing. But they never stop doing it. So you know you got a problem. but you don't care to stop it. You know what I'm saying? I forget there was a song, it's not coming to my head, where dude was talking about that, was about smoking weed. I know I got a problem, but I can't stop. Now see, now there's a difference, like the Trick Daddy song like I told you about a few weeks back. You remember, he say you a hope, but you can't help it, because you don't know it. You know what I'm saying? Now there's a difference if you got a problem and you can't help it because you don't know that in actuality you have a problem. But if you confess out of your mouth that you know you have a problem and you have not rectified that problem, then that means you just don't want to rectify it. Because like I'm telling y'all something, man, after a period of time, there has to be a level of maturity. You can't stay stagnant. He say, desire the sincere milk of the word that you might grow thereby. That means if you sitting there hearing the word and your mind is not matured and you not growing, I mean, it ain't even, your growth is stunted. You know what I'm saying? Then you're going to have to look at why is your growth, why are you not growing? Why are you not maturing? Maybe because you can't understand my speech and you can't hear my word. You have to look at that. You have to assess that, because this is not a light thing. You know, I probably won't even get the roof tonight like I wanted to because I had to talk about these things. But that's not a light thing, ladies and gentlemen. Brothers and sisters, that is not a light thing. That is not a light thing. You know what I'm saying? It is not a light thing. Y'all really have to start assessing your mind frame, your mentality, your thoughts, because your thoughts lead to your actions. You know what I'm saying? That man told you, abundance of the heart, the mouth speak. So the stuff you say out your mouth, this is what's in your head. Why is it in your head then? It is what come out your mouth. You know what I'm saying? I just was talking to Mouse about this. I just said something to T about this. Like, you know, they sisters, right? You know what siblings do a lot? They fight. And then they twins at that, right? So you know what that means. They ain't never been separated from each other. That means the 10 months before Mouse came here, that's the longest they ever been separated from each other their entire life. Do you know if you around somebody all day, every day, that you could be ready to rip their throat out at any given minute? And then turn right back around and tell them you love them, and then be ready to rip their throat out right again in about 45 more minutes. You know what I'm saying? See, that come with the territory. See, but they thing is, they've been fighting and knocking and down and dragging. They don't realize, they just don't know how to talk to each other. You know what I'm saying? See, at the period of time you've been together 23 years. You should know how to talk. That's a lot of time to be going everywhere with somebody. 23 years.
The race is not the split.
I'm talking about you ain't got but a 10-month break. Guess what? And you know how long it took them for them to go right back into the swing of things? About 3 days. First day, they ready to fight. You know what I'm saying? But eventually, that just show you that, you know what, eventually, they gonna have to, not because you don't like each other, but you can't be around somebody like that all the time. I'm talking about, it wouldn't even fall if they live together and work together, and sometimes on the same shift.
God,
That's terrifying.
what?
It's no break.
It's no break. You like this here, Stone Cold Stunner, RKO, you know what I'm talking about? Rock Bottom, Choke Slam,
I like myself, but I need some sleep sometimes.
Power Driver.
Well, you know, I want to deal with myself sometimes.
But the reason why I mention that is because, but you know where that come from? You know why they be like that though? You know where that come from? Because they probably wasn't never taught no problem resolution. How to really sit down with each other and resolve their problems. So they gonna do what sisters do. I'm gonna go off on my sister, and I don't care who he is. You better not talk about it though.
That's how it is.
Yeah, you better not talk about it though. You better not say nan there word. You better not say she was wrong too, nigga. You better watch your mouth.
Yeah, I know.
But you just said, I don't care what I said. It be like that though. You know what I'm saying? Me and Lil Muffin had a large age gap, so that wasn't gonna happen. You know what I'm saying? But guess what? Leah and Lizzie pretty close. They already doing it a tad bit now. They gonna fight, knock down, drag outs.
Oh,
Cause they too close in age.
and look, it's gonna be the rough.
They do it now. Snatch stuff from each other. You know what I'm talking about? And Lizzie's the aggressive one.
That's it. I put my money on Lizzie.
She the aggressive. Don't underestimate little Stanks now.
Boy, don't do that.
I got 5 on the quiet.
Don't underestimate little Stanks now.
Quiet next.
Little Stanks a little crazy now.
She a Bogarter.
Yeah.
Yes, she will bogart
She
you.
instigated, but then she realized when she done did it, I shouldn't have did that.
Yeah.
I ain't want the problem.
Yeah, I ain't want no
Cause Lizzie be ready. She just sit there stout and ready. You can't
She
move.
started, but then she can't end it.
Stout and ready. Little Lizzie. Tell
You
you.
gotta realize she still the
You
little
gonna let
sister.
him, you gonna let him fight.
Oh yeah.
Jose 14 and 1.
They get
Yeah,
about
they,
4 and 5. Oh yeah. They'll be going at it, tumbling. You can't do it right now because they're still young. You know what I'm saying? They might hurt each other.
Jose 14 and 1.
4 and 5. What?
O Yasharal,
Yeah, ring on.
return unto Yahuwah thy Elohim, for thou hast fallen by thy iniquity. Take with you words and turn to Yahuwah and say unto him, take away all iniquity and receive us graciously. So will we render the calves of our lips. So basically, what is he telling you to do? He's telling you to take accountability for what you have done. Let's look at somebody who didn't want to take accountability in Genesis chapter 3. Then we'll look in 1 Samuel 14 and look at somebody else who didn't want to take accountability. Hello, Egbert.
What?
It's Egbert.
Stick. I thought you said Egbert. I'm like, what's an Egbert?
Hey, man. He can be on it. He can trying to walk to himself. He trying to get up and go. Ain't that right, my man?
Mug.
3 and 7. And the eyes of them were both open, and they knew that they were naked, and they sewed fig leaves together and made themselves aprons. And they heard the voice of Yahuwah the Elohim walking in the garden in the cool day. And Adam and his wife hid themselves from the presence of Yahuwah the Elohim amongst the trees of the garden. And Yahuwah Elohim called unto Adam and said unto him, where art thou? And he said, I heard thy voice in the garden. I was afraid because I was naked and I hid myself. So you know the first thing he did? Instead of coming out and telling him what he did wrong, he tried to cover it up. First he tried to hide. Then let's see what else he did. He said, who told thee that thou was naked? Hast thou eaten of the tree whereof I commanded thee that thou should not eat? And the man said, the woman thou gave to be with me, she gave me of the tree and I did eat. So guess what he did?
What he did?
He didn't sit back and say that I did it. He put it on Eve. And basically, truth be told, put it on y'all. The woman you gave me, she made me do it. No, buddy. You did that. You see how serious that is? Not only did he throw his wife under the bus, he threw y'all under the bus. Let me read it to you again.
30s.
Verse 11, let me read it to you again. And he said, who told thee that thou was naked? Hast thou eaten of the tree whereof I commanded thee that thou should not eat? And the man said, the woman whom thou gave to be with me, she gave me of the tree and I did eat. Ain't no accountability in that. And that's why I tell you though, and obviously you can see I tell you that I got word to back it. Don't tell me what somebody else did. He said, what? He said, who told you was naked? He said, did you eat from the tree I told you not to eat from? And the first thing come out your mouth is,
That woman.
I did, but that woman you gave me, see, she the one gave it to me. I ain't asked you about that woman. I asked you what you did. What you telling me about what she did for? I didn't ask you about her. You see that? 1 Samuel 14. First Samuel 15, actually. Now we know Saul. Let's look at about verse 13. Verse 7. It says, and Saul smote the Amalekites from Havilah until thou come to shore. That is over against Mizraim. And he took Agag, the king of the Amalekites, alive and utterly destroyed all the people with the edge of the sword. But Saul and the people spared Agag and the best of the sheep and of the oxen, and of the fatlings and of the lambs and all that was good, and would not utterly destroy them, but everything that was vile and refuse, that they destroyed utterly. See, that's what some of y'all do. See, I ain't eat no swine. I find that nasty. I'm gonna pull my penis out and knock that hole down though.
Dirty dog.
I smoke their weed though. I'm saying I was just using that as an example when they were sitting there reading the ingredients on that food. So what look good to you, that's what you'll do. But what look nasty, see, you're not gonna do that. See, now we can go look at Matthew 23 and hold this 1 Samuel what I told you about. Matthew 23 and 23. I'm just trying to help somebody out.
23.
23. It might help somebody out. Y'all on this phone, y'all all right? Hey, Egbert.
I like it.
I as well.
I have been saying it for a while.
Very catchy. We were just talking, he was looking like, ooh, that was real. We agreeing to it.
23 and 23.
Come on.
He said, woe unto you, scribes and Pharisees, hypocrites, for you pay the tithe of mint, anise, and cumin, and have omitted the weightier matters of the law, judgment, mercy, and faith. These ought you to have done, and not to leave the other undone. So you see what he tells you? See, the little stuff, you gonna do that there. So I ain't gonna eat no pork. Oh, I want that lotion, it's got glycerin in it. I don't want that soap, that's got pork in it. I don't want to eat that bread, it's got monodiglycerides in it. But yet you ain't had no problem eating no pork when you put your face in between that woman's legs.
Oh.
You know what I'm saying?
Eating that swine.
Eating that swine.
Got all them shit.
You just like this here. You just like Mike Epps and Roscoe Jenkins. We were talking about the other day. You got your Farrakhan suit on. Might as well get it how you live. Say, come on and get you some of that swine. It's sublime and divine. And right on time. Ain't that what he told
Yeah,
him?
that's what he said.
Say you got your Kwanzaa outfit on. Get it how you live. With the Forrest Whitaker eye.
I see you over there. I want you to come here.
I can't do what he did. He worked that out though. Put some of that barbecue sauce. And guess what he went around there and did? Smashed it. And guess what happened when his old lady? What? What? You know what I'm saying? That's how y'all be. Let me eat this rib. Here come y'all. What? I ain't did nothing. You gotta sit back and look at it. You can't omit the weightier matters of that man said you gotta do the light matter because he said he that teach who break the least of these commandments and teach men to do so shall be called the least in the kingdom of Shamahin. So doing the least is just as good. But what is it you doing the least and you admitting having mercy and compassion on somebody? You omitting actually believing and obeying what y'all tell you to do. And of course executing righteous judgment. You know you ain't married. You know you ain't supposed to do that. You know you ain't supposed to be drinking. You know you ain't supposed to be lying. You know you ain't supposed to be scheming. So that means you're an abomination because you do unrighteously. And you got a false weight and a false balance. That's ugly all the way around. Elizabeth, come on. Get Lizzie. Take Lizzie with you. What you think this is? You trying to get up here?
Hey,
Both of y'all trying to get up here. I ain't got enough room for both of y'all.
what's that?
Think you sure?
You doing on those squats? You got some type of room.
Yeah. Room for gains. That's about it. I'm serious though. You can't sit back and look at I'm gonna do the light stuff. I ain't gonna do the big stuff. Do all James 1. James 2 actually. I'm gonna come back to that Isaiah 51, which we've been about that pit you would dig from, and that rock you were hewn from. James 2 and 8. Woo. Y'all better start doing what James told you to do. You better be a doer of the law and not a hearer only, deceiving your own selves. You better start doing what you're told versus hearing what you're told. You could go to Sunday church for that. You could stay in the streets for that. Don't y'all agree? Shoot. If you fulfill the royal law according to the scripture, thou shalt love thy neighbor as thyself, you do well. but you have respect to, but if ye have respect to person, you commit sin and are convinced of the laws of transgressor. See, I want to tell y'all something. Now you turn around, you sit back and look at it. We can see Yah himself not doing that, because when David committed sin, he ain't show no respect to persons to David. He chastised David for his sin just like he chastised anybody else. When Moses did what he did, he ain't show no respect to persons to Moses. He chastised Moses just like he did anybody else. Because I say this here because Miles mentioned this here. Please don't sit back and think I'm going to go for something because if T is involved with something, y'all mention that there, and I'm just going to stamp what she do. Or if you got that perception, because ain't no respect to person, and you's a full-blown idiot if you think that's the case. Especially as many times as you have heard me open up, rebuke her on the phone and in person. So you best believe if there's any situation and she's involved with it, and it's brought to me that she's already been rebuked before I even talk to you if there was need for rebuking. Please know that and believe that. If I done sat back and told you I done rebuked my own flesh and blood little sister who behind I wiped, who bottles I cooked, and who I went and picked up from school each and every single day, I don't know why you think T would get by. Have any of y'all ever heard me go off on T in public on the phone? So what would make you think that I wouldn't straighten her? Why would that even enter into your brain? Corey said it, I didn't. I don't see how you would think any of y'all. I'm just letting that be known to any of y'all. I don't know why y'all would think that. You know what I'm saying? If I would drop down my foot on anybody hard, it would be her first. That's mine. That's mine. You know what I'm saying? So you better believe I'm gonna drop. Boy, he done seen it. Boy, he done seen me, boy, go off on her like, boy, I ain't never seen him get this mad. Boy. He was scared. They said, well, I ain't never seen that before. That scared me. You was scared. No, I seen y'all twitch. I seen y'all twitch. You was scared. I seen it.
He was scared. He told me to shut up. No,
I'm not fearing him. I ain't say he was scared I was gonna do something to him.
Mm-hmm. He's scared for her.
I'm scared for them.
Scared for her?
You know what I'm scared for them.
You scared for her?
I ain't scared for what?
She ain't none of y'all.
But that boy, that hard as concrete.
What?
He couldn't even keep on going with it, dude. I'm like, they say, you know, you was scared. I twitch it. That nigga crazy. He ain't even ride with me. I appreciate you. I appreciate you just killing my whole thing right there.
I got to. Nip in the bud. Yeah, you making me look like a punk. No, that's because I'm scared because your voice raised, nigga. See,
I like this here.
I'm 100% man, nigga.
We ain't sure about that yet.
You pissed when you stand up.
You know what I'm saying?
You pissed when you stand up or you stand up to urinate?
You know what I meant.
I'm not sure.
I piss when I stand up. Every time I stand up. Little trickle down leg.
Right. But I'm serious though, man. Ain't no respect to person, man. If a situation get brought to me, man, and she wrong, I'm gonna tell her she wrong. If she ain't wrong, I'm not gonna tell her she wrong just to make you feel good about yourself. I'm not gonna do that. It wouldn't be no different if there's a dispute between any one of y'all. I'm not gonna say something to make you feel better about it. Matter of fact, since I said it, hold this here, this James chapter 2. And you come on around here to Deuteronomy chapter 1 and get you 2 Chronicles chapter 19, about verse 1. So you see what I'm talking about. Well, boy, I'm gonna go with what the law say. Well, I'm gonna judge righteously. I don't care nothing about that, what y'all talking about.
You still holding 26?
Oh, what's that? Deuteronomy? No, sir. Deuteronomy 1 and 15. Matter of fact, make it 12. I don't play them type of games there, boy. Ain't no respect to persons. He said, how can I myself alone bear your cumbrance and your burden and your strife? Take ye wise men and understanding and know among your tribes, and I will make them rulers over you. And ye answered me and said, the thing which thou hast spoken is good for us to do. So I took the chief of your tribes, wise men and known, and made them heads over you, captains over thousands, captains over hundreds, captains over 50s, captains over 10, and officers among your tribe. If you want to know why ISU, PK, and all them talking about captains and officers and IUIC, that's where they get it from. And I charged your judges that time, saying, hear the causes between your brethren, and judge righteously between every man and his brother, and the stranger that is with him. You shall not respect persons in judgment, but you ought to hear the small as well as the great. You shall not be afraid of the face of man, for the judgment is Elohim's, and if the cause that is too hard for you, bring it unto me, and I will hear it. I hope you don't think I'm going to go to hell for tea. I hope you wouldn't think that. Because what does the law say? Judge righteously between man and man, right? Because the judgment is not of man's, the judgment is of Yah's. So if I tell you something, well, you just know where it came from when I judge between a controversy. 2 Chronicles 19. I just got to let that be known. We had an hour and 17 minutes. 2 Chronicles 19:1, and Jehoshaphat the king of Yehuda returned unto his house in peace to Jerusalem, and Jehu the son of Hanani the seer went out to meet him, and said to the king Jehoshaphat, should thou help the Unkadesh, and love them that hate Yahuwah? Therefore wrath is upon thee from before Yahuwah. Nevertheless there are good things found in thee, and that thou hast taken away the groves out of the land, and have prepared thine heart to seek Elohim. And Jehoshaphat dwelt at Jerusalem, and he went out again from the people from Beersheba to Mount Ephraim, and brought them back unto Yahuwah, Elohim of their fathers. And he set judges in the land throughout all the fenced cities of Yehuda, city by city. And he said to the judges, take heed what you do, for you judge not for man, but for Yahuwah, who is with you in the judgment. Wherefore now let the fear of Yahuwah be upon you. Take heed and do it, for there is no iniquity with Yahuwah Elohim, nor respect of persons, nor taking the gifts. So you already see, if y'all ain't got no respect of persons in judgment, guess what that mean I can't have? And that mean if I can't have it, anybody can get it. Even myself. You know what I'm talking about? Y'all got to realize that there, man. It don't make no difference. You know what I'm talking about? I ain't gonna sit back and look at, well, I had been, you know what I'm saying? I grew up with Lank, so Lank can't do no wrong. And if Lil Stanley and Lank got an issue, Lank automatically gonna be right because I grew up with it. You know what I'm saying? No, it ain't gonna work that way. If Lil Stanley is the justified party, Lank gonna be condemned. Bottom line. It wouldn't matter if I only knew Stanley a week. If Stanley in the right. Don't you feel that right? It should be about who right. Not who it is. You know what I'm talking about? Boy, I don't let T slide by with nothing. Am I lying? I don't let her slide by with nothing. Come on to the James chapter 2. I'm going to sit back and tell you the only difference is some of y'all been rebuked in the open. Truth be told, T been rebuked in the open more than any of y'all.
I was saying, when I was talking to Pip too, he was saying, I ain't no respect of persons. I was watching TV, talking about I can't watch TV.
Oh, he's mad about that
This
one.
is like he said, he was giving commandments that you couldn't back up in the book, so he respecting your person rather than scripture respecting you.
Yeah, that boy, that was
your own will.
Oh, I'm talking about we already killed that. That you know already know. You know how we can show you ain't got no business watching no TV on Shabbat. Cause he said don't profane my Kadesh day. Profane mean make common. You watch TV every single day of the week. What's set apart about you sitting around here watching Alabama and Auburn play? You might as well take your sorry raggedy behind down there to the stadium and watch the Florida-Georgia game in person. You gonna sit at the house and watch it on TV. Stupid nigga. That man say, man, don't you do your pleasure on my Kadesh Shabbat. He say don't seek your own will or your own way or speak your own word, nor seek pleasure on my set apart day. Well, I take pleasure in watching football. That means that's your thing. Why are you doing it? That means you ought to go to hell, nigga. You mad, that's what you mad by. Cause you wanna watch TV. You stupid idiotic fool. Worry about watching no TV? You can't go 24 hours without watching TV. Something wrong with you. Guess what? It's Tuesday night. You know what's gonna be on TV tonight?
The Flash.
Screw the Flash. And eventually, we're gonna be talking about that anyway, because we're gonna leave these superheroes alone after a while. Huh? Only because I was talking, I forgot who I was talking to about that. But you know, a lot of that stuff rooted in Greek mythology. Most of them.
Oh, man.
You know what I'm saying?
Ah, this is
The Green Lantern?
Oh, Green Lantern, straight Messiah type. You already know Superman name is Kal. El?
Well,
You know what I'm saying? So instead of just saying, you know, hey, I can see I would talk. I say, you know, I always like Batman. You know, I got me a Batman shirt. Even when I say, man, but this nigga called the Dark Knight though.
all Batman is showing white supremacy. What white supremacy can do. White
Indeed.
privilege.
Indeed.
Rich cracker. I'm gonna be a super.
And I'm gonna fight crime and kill all you niggas. It's just the heroes. If the hero in there, yeah, we probably just leave that alone. But the reason why I mentioned this, I done lost my train of thought. But
You killed me.
You went us back to James.
yeah, we know about the James, but it was something else. Hey man, shoot. I mean, I just like the shirt, so I don't like to watch it. You know what I'm saying? But
You gotta get rid of them shirts too.
yeah, some of them already sold. You didn't even know it. Flash is so. I just ain't list them all at the same time. Oh, I got rid of him off the rip.
That's dumb.
All right, I'm telling you right now, boy, Flash has been bid on. He gone. Soon as the Shabbat end, I'ma mail him because the bid end tomorrow afternoon. You know what I'm talking about? Spider-Man, one Spider-Man, gone. Hulk, gone. They already been bid on. Somebody watching a couple other ones. Once I sell all them, because I ain't want to get hit with all that postal fees at the same time. You know what I'm talking about? Plus they weren't clean. I wanted to make sure they were clean for our son. You know what I'm talking about? Then I'll list the rest of them.
So Hulk, that's dealing with rage. Huh?
Hey, what about Batman?
Oh, Batman gone too. I got a Batman shirt on.
White
that
privilege.
bid.
White privilege.
Hulk turned into something too.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I'm gonna tell you this. You know what's on TV tonight though? What I was referring to? No. Today is the first night of the beginning of the NBA regular season. And the World Series. I like, you know what I'm saying? I could have sat back and be looking at Royals, Mets, and flip and watch LeBron and the Bulls. You know what I'm talking about? But I love y'all more than I want to watch a nigga going bald and a nigga with bad knees and a bad eyeball play basketball. I like to watch Daniel Murphy play for the Mets. He coming straight out of Duval. Straight out of 4412 Barnes Road, matter of fact. Yes, sir. Y'all don't know what y'all know what's on 4412 Barnes Road. Inglewood High School. That's where he comes from. Old Troy. I ain't know he knew nothing about that. Old First Coast nigga.
Troy live everywhere.
He a Ed White West Side.
Oh, you went to Ed White?
He just dead. He just dead.
But you went to Ed White and you graduated from that, bro.
I graduated from Sandalwood, bro.
Uh-oh.
Yeah, so-
Uh-oh.
Oh, you old Saints Way.
Only way that two.
You old Sandalwood Saint.
Just to graduate. That's what I did at Parker.
Yeah, but I'm sitting here telling you though, I'm talking about the mind frame that he got. If I'm sitting there telling me he ain't got no book to back that, he say, man, make sure you sanctify my Kadesh Shabbat.
Hey,
Ain't that what he said?
leave alone.
How many of y'all by show of hands in this room and how many by yays on this phone think watching TV on the Shabbat is sanctifying?
I thought they were saying break it. Oh,
Yeah.
like breaking it. Yeah, breaking
Ain't that ain't sanctified? That's not setting that apart. That man say the Shabbat is supposed to be esteemed above any other day out the week. It's so serious you can't even go to work on it. You can't even buy and sell on it. And you think your ignorant behind can be around here watching football games?
Michael.
Niggas sitting around here, we just playing video games, bro.
What?
What's the problem?
Playing a little bit of Madden.
Yeah. Play your way to hell.
Call of Duty.
You know what I'm saying? And I stand on that.
And we big.
Yeah, we been.
And you drink. And you smoke.
No, it's a fat one.
Lying bastard. Just sit back and say I want to be a sinner. I respect it more.
it. Is Pokemon bad?
Oh, Pocket Monster.
Oh.
I wouldn't doubt it. We can look into it. When we look at a lot of this stuff, man, I told you before, man.
Amen.
Whoa, not
That's
Pokemon.
what he
Whoa.
was saying.
Who said Pokemon?
Pokemon. Poke a man.
Oh yeah, remember that Pokemon.
Man, what I'm sitting back telling you is if we actually sit back and really look at some of the stuff we watch, you know what I'm saying? You sit back and you look at it. Some stuff ain't worth watching. I just was sitting back thinking about it when the sun that how many of y'all seen Hancock?
John Hinn with Will Smith. with the white woman.
Yeah.
It's fine.
It was a
Do you remember what that white woman told Will Smith who they were and where they came from?
No, I remember why he told him they can't be together.
Hold on, y'all hold that down, man. Hold that down. Do y'all know what that any of y'all on the phone? Do y'all know what that white woman told Will Smith character in that movie? Who they were? Remember, he didn't know who he was, right?
She said we were falling.
She said that what you call superheroes and all this stuff were really fallen angels. That's what she told him. I ain't never forget that, because see, that movie got my white boy Jason Bateman in it. See, I like that white boy. He may be, but he's a real white man. Every time he plays in the movie, he acts like a real white man, and he's hilarious to me.
Oh, because he is a real white man.
No, what I'm saying, see, you got white men and you got real white men.
man. I know what you're talking
He's a real white man. You know what I'm saying? He that white man that wear boat shoes and khaki shorts in the summer and just like this here, like, come on, guy, what's going on here?
Yeah, if you mess with me, my dad will sue you.
You know what I'm saying? A polo shirt, khaki shorts, and boat shoes. Year round, too.
I finna say you got the same thing on the winter with long sleeves.
Long sleeves, Jimmy, it's 40 degrees. It's not cold out here.
Thong sandals.
Thong sandals. That's straight out of Florida right
No
now.
socks.
No socks. That's how the white boys do down here when they get cold. Cargo shorts with thong sandals and a polo shirt. No socks. With a thermal underneath. With a beanie on. But when you sit back and you think about that, that means we would have to look at all these superheroes and really look and see, are they really based off of Greek mythology and quote unquote demons? We'd have to look at that now, wouldn't we? Because they didn't make that statement in that movie for no reason. And then we got to look at, it's Gentiles who created them anyway. Like I said, we know Superman is a god. You know what I'm saying? Green Lantern, the movie itself with Ryan Reynolds, he is made as an anointed one, as a savior. Even when you look at Star Wars, it has the same concept. The Force be with you. What is the Force?
Yeah.
You don't even want to know what the Force is and what they do with it. Would you like to know?
It involves lightsabers.
And rectums. Oh, if you go look at the first three, it's a lot of undercover homoerotic stuff in them first three now. Some of y'all done seen that episodes of Family Guy when they were clowning it. Where you think they were getting it from?
The original.
It's homoerotic stuff in there.
I like when people come around words like yours.
No, it ain't come from you. You know the first time I heard it had me dying laughing? That episode when Stewie had He-Man and Lion-O from Thundercats, and he was around there like this here, and he had him kiss, and saying that's what happens when you let your kid play with homoerotic dolls. Now tell that to your God, and walked on. You know what I'm saying? But how he sat back and said it, he was sitting back looking at you buying and you sucking all this stuff up with this faggotry and this sin. Go tell your God why you were watching it. Now you come up to be a faggot. You fell for the okie doke. They were putting that right in your face, that we put this stuff out here and hope that you partake in it and suck it up and it warp your mind. I was sitting back looking at it like, that's really messed up, because we had Thundercats and He-Man and all when we were little. And you didn't even sit back and realize these niggas in draws.
Yeah.
These are muscle-bound men in draws.
Thunder.
Yeah, I mean, shoot, yeah, we looked at it as we got older, but you don't really sit back and look at it when you 6, 7 years old. You know what I'm saying? So this old cop diesel dude in his drawers, and y'all around here, you ain't thinking about having him hunch or nothing.
Nigga put nigga head between their legs, spin around, and all by your face.
You know what I'm saying? But I'm gonna tell you something. Professional wrestling is not bad as Greco-Roman.
Well, you already told him about that Greco.
Oh, Greco-Roman? Because at least they faking like they fighting in professional wrestling. These niggas is straight. You start the match off either face to face or one man is behind the other man and you grabbing him by the waist, and this is how it starts. I'm telling you.
Anything goes.
Any of y'all ever seen a Greco-Roman wrestling match before?
Of course. You talking about in school?
Yeah, that's Greco-Roman wrestling.
I never did that in school.
That's Greco-Roman. Greco-Roman wrestling is them dudes with them tights on, with the shoulder tights
They
on.
get the cauliflower ears.
You know what I'm saying? Got the cauliflower ears in a little circle, and they just grappling. All it is just a nigga writhing on top of another man. Writhe, not grind, writhe. I'm tired. Oh boy, I'd be like this here, boy. If I were wrestling, if I was in school competing in wrestling, and I feel a man's manhood on me, I'd be like this here, sir. I tap out. What's the problem? I felt his penis. I can go no further. I can go no further.
Cup on.
And after I tap out, I'm finna turn right around and swing on cuz. So you got a rile at me, cuz?
That nigga said he ain't have a cup on.
Y'all ever heard of a dude named Tank Abbott?
Yeah.
You know who that is? Who that is?
He got a beard.
That's a UFC fighter. When UFC first started, you know what that man said? He got sexually aroused from it.
No.
He's a perv.
I knew right then, if I was one of them dudes, we're gonna put you in a fight with Tank Abbott. No, you're gonna put yourself in a fight with Tank Abbott. I'm not fighting this man. This man say he like for a man's penis to rub against his body. He say when he's fighting a man, his penis gets hard. Why would I want to fight a man like that? Because I think he gonna try to follow me in the locker room, and then I'm gonna have to catch a murder case.
Murder.
Murder ain't gonna be the case. They gonna be like this here. This man here has just done something. We don't even have a statute for this here. When I get finished with this nigga, you sexually aroused? You know how weird that is?
Honey? I just said just weird. I'm punching you in the face. Yeah.
Don't you talk about punching nobody in no face. Don't you do that. You know what don't you do that. Don't you do that. No, I mean, he said it himself. I'm not going like this. Don't you do that. Y'all are the bad that he got a little freak in him. Y'all like that bondage stuff. That's too much for me.
I ain't got no bond.
Too much for me.
You got him started.
That's too much for me. You know what I'm saying? That's too much for me. This all he like this here. Hold on. He got. Hold on. Say that's how you like it. They say, boy, it's a stone cold freak. You know what I'm saying? How many of y'all like freaky stuff like that?
Oh my God.
If you do, you better not ask for it. Yeah, you can talk about 2 in the back. James 2:8. He said, if you fulfill the royal law according to the scripture, thou shalt love thy neighbors thyself, you do well. But if you have respect in persons, you commit sin and are convinced of the law as transgressors. For whosoever shall keep the whole law and yet offend in one point, he is guilty of all. For he that said, do not commit adultery, said also, do not kill. Now if thou commit no adultery, yet if thou kill, thou art become a transgressor of the law. So you can't omit the weightier matters and just do the lighter matters, or say because I'm gonna put it this way, I can't see you omitting the light matters and you holding the weightier matters, because one of the weightier matters is judgment. And the love of Elohim, as he said in another place, I can't even see you doing that. So I already know you're gonna omit the weighted and just cleave to the lighter. See, that's what niggas do. When you say 1 Samuel 14, real men and women gonna do the whole kit and caboodle. And if you get caught out here slipping, guess what you gonna do? Acknowledge where you wrong. That's why we going in here looking at this law, man. Don't come around here telling me what somebody else did. All I want to hear about is what you did. I'm gonna tell you.
Those snitched to me.
That is. 1 Samuel 15, not 14, my apologies. Don't tell me about what nobody else did. That's just what Adam did. He snitched on Eve. He told on the fast. She did it. Say what? I ain't asked you about her though, sir. She did it though.
Sweat of your brow.
You gonna get out here and get it because of that. 7 Samuel, 1 Samuel 15. Well, we already read 9. We in 10. Then came the word of Yahuwah unto Samuel, saying, It repent me that I have set Saul to be king, for he has turned back from following me, and have not performed my commandments. And it grieved Samuel, and he cried unto Yahuwah all night. And when Samuel rose early to meet Saul in the morning, it was told Samuel, saying, Saul come to Carmel, behold him and set him up a place, and he's gone about and passed on and gone down to Gilgal. You see what it is? He did something stupid, Samuel crying for him. And we already know what y'all told him. What you crying for this nigga for, seeing I rejected him? Go do what I told you to do. You know what I'm talking about? I ain't gonna be sitting around here crying for you because you did nothing stupid. You know what I'm talking about? And he start bashing you and crashing you upside your head. You get exactly what you deserve. You won't get no sympathy from me. And you can bet that. Oh, I think y'all chastising me for my sin. And you know what you shouldn't have did? You shouldn't have sinned, dummy. He's saying Samuel came to Saul, and Saul said unto him, Blessed be thou of Yahuwah. I perform the commandment of Yahuwah. And Samuel said, What mean this bleating of the sheep in my ears and the lowing of oxen which I hear? And Saul said, They have brought them from the Amalekites, for the people spared the best of the sheep and of the oxen, and to sacrifice unto Yahuwah thy Elohim, and the rest we have utterly destroyed. Now let's drop on down and let's look at what Saul said. Let's look at what Saul said. Samuel 20, verse 20. Let's just drop on to verse 20 and read that thing. And Saul said unto Samuel, Yea, I have obeyed the voice of Yahuwah, and have gone the way which Yahuwah sent me, and have brought Agag the king of Amalek, and have utterly destroyed the Amalekites. But the people took of the spoil, sheep and oxen of the chief things, which should have been utterly destroyed, to sacrifice unto Yahuwah thy Elohim in Gilgal. Who did Yah tell to utterly destroy everything?
Shaul.
He told Saul to do. He told Saul to do. And what did Saul do?
Put it on the people.
He put it on the people.
But he the king.
And you the king, and you blame the people. So you see what he didn't want to do?
Same thing happens.
He didn't want to take accountability for what he did wrong. He figured if I shift it off on somebody else, that'll minimize my trouble. And it did. It did. It did. It did. You know what? We'll stop right there. Because we got 7 more days. Praise y'all for Yahuwah. Praise Yahuwah for Yahushua HaMashiach. Y'all understood this stuff this evening because I wanted to talk about something else, but I had to deal with this matter here specifically.
Something
No. Yeah.